Hello, I'm Joanne, a Senior Associate here at Lakeview Family Law. If you've recently separated, or are even just thinking about separating, you're probably wondering if you should talk to or engage a family lawyer. Now, I know us family lawyers often get a bad rap, which can make some people a little apprehensive about talking to us. But despite all the stories you hear about lawyers dragging matters out and creating conflict, most of us aren't like that, and certainly none of us here at Lakeview Family Law. As a firm, our focus is solely on helping you achieve the best outcome for you, whatever that looks like. Even if your goal is to keep the lawyers out of it, there is a lot of value to be found in just having an initial meeting with a lawyer to understand how the family law system works when it comes to the division of property and parenting matters, and how that may apply to your situation. Because despite popular belief, there are no hard and fast rules as to how the courts will rule on matters, just a process and set of principles. By meeting with a lawyer early on in the process, you can arm yourself with the information and understanding you need to negotiate effectively and hopefully come to a fair agreement with your ex. We won't pressure you to engage us, just explain the facts and provide advice as to what your expectations should or could be, along with any steps you should take to progress things or address any immediate concerns you may be grappling with, particularly if family violence, withholding funds, or contact with children are issues. If you do need or want to engage us, we will also provide you with an indication of what your legal costs may be. However, the nature of family law matters means it is impossible to know exactly how the other party will respond and how your matter will progress, so this will likely be arranged based on different scenarios. We will also talk to you about the different things you can do, like sourcing documents to help minimize costs. Once you engage us, the first priority will be to gather the necessary information and documentation we need to progress. This will include specific details about the assets and liabilities you hold, both jointly and individually, financial and income details, your children and the roles you have played in caring for them, any existing court orders or documents, and critically, any concerns relating to your safety or your children's safety. Now, it is important to stress that every situation and separation is different, and how we proceed will be based on your unique circumstances. But generally, the first step will be to try and reach an agreement through negotiation and mediation. If that is unsuccessful, then the next step will be to file with the courts. Once we file with the courts, your first court appearance will roughly be 8 weeks later. It is just the first step in what can be a long process, and its purpose is for the court to assess and triage your matter. If there are pressing financial or parenting issues that need to be resolved before trial, which will likely be 12 months away, an interim hearing will be scheduled. The court will also generally require you to undertake further mediation or dispute resolution measures. While this may seem silly at this point, particularly as you must attempt mediation before filing, it is a requirement in most cases, as once matters start moving through the courts, people are generally better informed and more willing to negotiate. If mediation and dispute resolution measures continue to be unsuccessful, there will likely be 1 or 2 more court appearances before the trial begins. Once the trial concludes, the court will issue orders that dictate how the property will be divided and/or how parenting arrangements will work. It's important to know that filing with the courts doesn't necessarily mean your matter will end up being determined through a trial. Often, just the act of commencing court proceedings is enough to get the other party to sit up, take notice, come to the table, and start effective negotiations. As I said, here at Lakeview Family Law, our focus is on helping you achieve the best possible outcome for you as quickly and cost effectively as possible. This means that wherever practical and possible, we try to do this outside of the court system. So, while I know the idea of talking to or engaging a lawyer can be daunting, getting advice early on in the process really is in your best interests.